going on? Trey here with TDX. Got my man Derek here on the other side, man. What we got going on for the show today? I know we got a lot of stuff to talk about pertaining to last week's show, but you tell me what we
Oh
got
yeah.
going on.
Right now, so what we got going on today is we're going to go over our top comments from last week's clips, like what we talked about we would do. Then we're going to go over some of the headlines going on, talk about the Longview native Trent Williams holding out a little bit, why that's important, the great move by the Minnesota Vikings and how they're handling that young man that passed away in that tragic car accident even before he got a chance to take the field. And just kind of go over some of the training camps opening up. Apparently, there's a fight in every last one, which we've all come to expect in every season. It's hot. It's a bunch of grown men out there playing a game. If somebody ain't fighting, they ain't trying to get ready for the season. So, and then of course we're going to go over what seems to be everybody's favorite segment, is our predictions for this next season. We'll be visiting the AFC NFC West, so that'll be fun. But
Everybody liked your predictions in particular.
hey man, they're great. They're supposed to be out there. They're predictions for a reason. To sit there and go, straight crazy. I mean, like you might as well turn into ESPN if that's the case. One of our comments in there, of course, it was me when I was talking about Caleb Williams. Of course, you're gonna have to have an air of delusionability about you. That's how you get views. Nobody cares. Nobody's gonna watch if you're just saying the same thing over and over again. So that's not a top comment. That's just me responding, I guess you could say. But as far as our top comments go, other than being called Jason Tatum over and over again,
Great value, Jason Tatum.
great value, Jason Tatum at that one. Hey man, there's worse things to be called. I guess nowadays I don't want to be called Drake anymore, which most people try to akin me to. So I don't know what's going on. I don't need Kendrick Lamar coming after me. The PR would be great, but however, the beatdown would not be good. Like he would verbally whoop my ass. I don't know about physically. Now, physically, he probably would too. I'm not gonna
He a
play.
little dude, man. You
I'm a
tall,
lover, not a
man. I
fighter.
think you'd be all right.
But so what we got going on? Everybody so far loves to sit there and go after the fact that my take on the AFC North is absolutely wild. The fact that everybody hates the fact that I put the Ravens in fourth. Y'all act like I try to sit there and say the Ravens were going to have a losing record this year. Of course, they might be, because that's a great way to insinuate, because I talked about the Steelers not having a losing record. But I mean, like, look, man, that's going to be a very competitive um, division. Uh, do I see the Ravens finishing fourth? Yes. But would I be shocked if they won it? Absolutely not. I really think overall it's anybody's division, but that's just the way I see it shaking out. That's the way I would like to see it shake out. But we'll just have to see how it goes. I want to see the parity, I guess is what I'm getting at. Joe Burrow coming back looking like Joe Shady out there with the blonde hair, so we'll see how that works out for him. But hey
Shit
man,
was
it is
wild.
what it is.
It was wild, man.
um, One of the other things that we kind of got about was that video that you put out about the IU trade. We have a lot of people, wanting to see him in different places, different things happening. You called Washington being a good landing spot. I think the Pats also have some room to make things happen. Gerard Mayo's building something great out there, but as we've also seen, the 49ers are like, nah, bro, we ain't trading him. He's stuck. So
But the
we'll
crazy
have
thing
to see.
about it is, it's like they don't want to pay him, but they don't want to trade him, and he's like, either pay me or trade me, and it's like we're not meeting your demands at all.
And that's a fair thing to ask for. We're going to go ahead and skip it here into the headlines. That top comment was a little bit shorter than what I expected, but we'll be okay. But switching over here and just diving full into the headlines, with Ayuk's trade, like I get it. You either going to pay me what I'm worth or you go ahead and let me go. And I don't see
And then
anybody winning.
yeah, some of the headlines with the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan, they said that I'm not quoting it. I'm just paraphrasing it, but they're saying that Shanahan actually prefers Debo over Ayuk because of his versatility. Now, wide receiver wise, Ayuk is the better wide receiver. Period. I don't think that's hands down.
Mm-mm.
That's not a question.
Yes.
But as far as a weapon, I would say that Debo is probably a better weapon because they can move him around and stuff like that. I get it, but in this situation, especially with how they draft with Ricky Pearsall, I think Ayuk is more expendable I mean, I'm sorry. I think Debo is more expendable than Ayuk is
I'll give you
because
that.
Debo is doing all the same things that CMC does. Debo was cool before you had CMC, but now you got CMC. So I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to go Army Swiss knife positionless football across the field. I don't know.
That would be absolutely bananas, and that'll just be another way that they can lose in overtime.
True, but I think the Pearsall pick was to get rid of Ayuk. I honestly think that's why they picked up Ricky in the first round.
And I think they're trying to get a first round out of Ayuk, and I don't think anybody's going to give it to him. I think they've tried to float that around before, in the draft, during the draft, the combine, everything else going on. I think they're just probably asking way too much, either first round or 2 seconds, or just the draft capital is just too much for what they want for him. And so they're like, no, we're not going to trade you because we know either A, we know we're not going to get it, or B, everybody's giving us the number one finger and telling us to kick rocks and flip flops on that one. So 49ers are in a tough spot,
I
and
think the longer this draws out, yeah, the longer this draws out, the less its value is going to be. But I think that they're trying to make the baseline the AJ Brown deal. I think they're trying to make that their baseline, and we gave up a 1 and a 3 for. I mean, we received a 1 and a 3 for AJ Brown. So I think they're trying to have that at the base. And but we did that. It happened like right away during the draft.
yeah,
Boom. This is what we want. Philly was like, we'll give it to you. Now, they might have put this price on Ayuk's head, but nobody's budget. So the longer this draws out, the less and less his value will be.
oh, absolutely. And the thing is they're going to be running out of money because they've got a big left tackle problem right now, and the fact that Trent Williams is out of guaranteed money. And as much as I hate to say it, I agree with Trent's move on this one. Like, if he gets hurt, like, yeah, okay, I'm slated to make $25 million, but if he gets hurt, he doesn't see a dime of that, and he's 36 years old. I get it. I get it. You've you've
I
you've got to
understand
hold out for that.
where he's coming from, but he signed the contract. That's the only thing that I'm going to say. It's like you knew it was front loaded with guaranteed money. They did that purposely. You signed that. So now you're in a situation that it makes it seem like you're whining for more money. And I understand it's just the guaranteed side of it. I get that. But I think his camp should put out that they're looking for a reconstruct, maybe add on a year or two to get some more guaranteed money rather than him just holding out. Because I haven't seen anything. All I saw was Trent Williams holding out.
And I think that's a lot of the conversations that are happening in the background. It's just that what's going to grab the headlines is the fact that he's not there. So I think that a lot of those conversations are already happening, but you know, that's what it is. I get it.
The
So,
49ers got every problem they have seems to stem from money. And remember Brock Purdy's contract's coming up too.
hmm
So they're about to be in a really bad spot.
yeah. So their best bet is just trade Ayuk, in my opinion, of course, is to trade Ayuk to the highest bidder and figure out Trent's contract. Just ask him, what is it going to take for you to retire here? And just pay him out. That is fully guaranteed his last stint, and then call it a day. Like, he's 36. He's playing the left tackle position. I'm not saying he's lost a step. I'm not saying anything. I'm just looking at it from a realistic standpoint. That is a hard position to play. He has battled through injuries the last 2 seasons, but he's also the most valuable weapon. Go back and look at the numbers versus when he's on the field and when he's off the field. There is a significant drop on every key player's numbers when he is not on the field. So,
Yeah, because you have less time to throw the ball now.
well, I mean, even McCaffrey, his numbers dropped quite a bit with Trent not being on the field. And it doesn't matter if they're running
Agreed,
to the
man.
left side the
Protection
whole
is
time.
important.
Yes, in more than one way. Speaking of protection, again, want to shout out to Tyreek Hill. He had a kid for every 800 yards, or for every 80
Yeah,
yards.
yeah. You mentioned that last show. Is that going to be your running joke now? Just then, Tyreek Hill's girlfriend pregnant again.
I mean, it probably will be. Well, I mean, good luck for the, or good, hats off to the man. Let's just hope that he's there, not sprinting out everywhere because he's the cheetah. He's fast, right? Um,
I
all
could
right,
have
and
took that really dark. I could have.
I mean, I know he is, but damn, like, leave the man alone. I wasn't even trying to go with the Wesley Snipes takes. He's down there in Miami. Let him enjoy the sun. Um, but anyway, skipping on to something a little bit brighter. The Vikings. We had the young man. His name escapes me, and I feel terrible for it. But he passed away. Defensive back. Worked his behind off to get into the NFL. Went through a couple colleges. Finally broke into the NFL. Got drafted, and unfortunately passed away in a car accident. Good look for the Vikings, how they are paying out his signing bonus, well, majority of the signing bonus to his estate. So, his family is still able to see that life-changing amount of money going through there. It's not going to be the millions, but I mean, like, hell, you give me $100,000, that's going to change my life real quick. Um, it's not going to replace the fact that he's lost, but the fact that they still honored that contract, honoring his hard work to help put his family in a better position. He's still able to do that. And the fact that the Vikings even took on a bulk of the cost for his funeral as well, too, was still something worth shouting out today. With that, so hats off to the Minnesota Vikings and how they take care of the people. That's very classy, and it's good to see something like that.
For sure, it makes the organization look like a stand-up organization by you standing by, a young man that didn't even get to take a snap in the regular season, and even in the preseason, didn't even make training camp. I mean, you just keep rolling back. He made the rookie, camp, but he didn't make the actual training camps that started this week. So hats off to them for sure for standing by the families and allowing them to grieve in this just tragic moment.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into the divisions. So let's see. I started off with the AFC last week, and people apparently got a little upset with that. So let's go ahead and let's see you take the dance first with the AFC. How do you see this shaking out?
So we're in the AFC West, correct?
Correct. AFC West.
The AFC West. Let's see. So we got the Chargers, Broncos, Raiders, and Chiefs. All right, save the best for last. Clearly, it's still Patrick Mahomes' division. Them trying to add another receiver, actually two receivers, one in free agency and one in the draft, to go along with Kadarius Toney, who's still there, who I thought was going to be gone by now, but Kadarius Toney's he is still there.
They're
So
trying him out at
he'll
running
be
back.
able to mentor. No, he's going to be able to mentor the guys there. Hollywood Brown being there is actually going to help out Xavier Worthy, a vet that's plays similar to the way you play. That's going to help him
Hmm.
out. And Patrick Mahomes already showed he don't have to have a whole lot of competent receivers to get the job done. So giving him some more speed. I mean, and not to mention Rasheed Rice, he's still there. He's probably going to get like a 3 to 5 game suspension when the smoke clears, but he's still there. So Patrick Mahomes is reloading again. They're trying to three-peat. So that's first. Second, who I would like to see in second place there, and they just have been underachieving for a while now. I want to put the Chargers there, even though they have a whole new wide receiver room for the most part. I think the Chargers they should finish second. They should make a wild card this year. As
And
long as
running
they can
back
stay
room.
healthy, they got one of the better quarterbacks. Was that?
And the running back room.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they got J.K. Dobbins now. J.K. Dobbins can just stay healthy. He'll be okay. He just can't stay. He wasn't able to stay healthy when he was in Baltimore. And then
Yeah.
they got a really good O line. Remember, they doubled down on O line. They got Slater on one side and they got Joe Alt on the other.
Hmm.
So they should Herbert should have plenty of time to find his new wide receiver one, which I'm predicting is more than likely going to be Lad McConkey. And Quentin Johnson, he's got to step up this season. Or I mean, if you let Palmer take over, you're a first round talent, man. You can't let Palmer take over your spot. So it should be
Hmm.
Johnson and McConkey. Okay, and in third, it's got to be the Broncos. They have been saying that Bo Nix has been the steal of the draft so far in the rookie camps, and he's looking great. I think the Broncos started 2 days ago or something like that, and he's looking great. He's making all the right reads. And Sean Payton said that this is the most NFL ready quarterback in NFL history to come from college because of all the years that he played in college. He played like a lot of games. So this is what your coach is supposed to be saying. So I mean, we'll see it when we see it. We'll see a little bit in the preseason, but I'd say we'll have our answer in the first 4 to 6 games of the season. The Broncos finish third in that division, and they're going to show promise. And then clearly the Raiders are in the basement there, even though they probably have the best 1-2 punch at the tight end position in the NFL now with Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer, but they don't have a quarterback. And they lost Jacobs to Green Bay. Still got Devontae, so they got good pass catchers, but who's throwing the ball? So I don't know. And I don't really trust that defense all that well, too. Pass rush is good, but that's about it. So that's,
Um,
in a nutshell, that's my top to bottom. Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders.
I mean, you got Garner Minshew with that Minshew mania. I mean, that's who you got starting. And Aiden O'Connell didn't look too bad. I'm not saying they need to be any higher than 4. I agree with you being that 4. I'm gonna go in inverse order for me. So I'm gonna start with the basement. The basement is yes, it's gonna be the Raiders. They'll be lucky to get 4 games. They'll be lucky to get 4 games. Um, Either Minshew's going to take a huge step in maturation for how long he's been in the league and finally really step into that role. We saw a lot of good things out of him in Indianapolis when he was out there running that offense. Um, but we'll see. Rolling in the AFC West is a completely different beast in the AFC South. So we'll
Mm-hmm.
definitely
Tank it for a
definitely
quarterback should be what they want to do.
yeah. Then you got at first I had the Chargers and then the Broncos. When again, I'm going in inverse order, but you gave me a couple other things to think about, and so I would have to again agree with you with the Broncos finishing third, uh, because I saw a lot of the good things about Bo Nix coming through there. You still got the defense working through there. You've got the wide receiver rooms that's going through that they're kind of going through there. Sean Payton finally is happy with the team. That's really what I was basing it off of. When Sean Payton is happy with his team and they're listening to him and getting things done. I mean, you saw what happened. Look at how he was handling things down there in New Orleans. He did very well. So I was mostly betting on the coach in that one, but again, with the Chargers, you've got John Harbaugh going in there. You still have Justin Herbert sitting in there. The additions to the offensive line is the biggest help. And that's the biggest thing that got me to sit there and change it. You got Justin Herbert. He's going to have some time. He's got some weapons in there that he can move around. That Chargers defense is still that Chargers defense. So I do see the Chargers finishing second. And of course, Chiefs are at the top. If I were to say anything different, I would have an unhappy home. So I have to say the Chiefs are going to finish number 1 in the AFC West. So, but
Not
yes,
just because you're not going to have a happy home, man. It's the Patrick Mahomes show
it's
over
the
there in the
truth.
West,
It
man.
is. I mean, yeah, it's the truth. I mean, until they're dethroned, we're going to sit there and see. I mean, like again, I'll point it out like I talked about in the show last season. If you want a true MVP, a most valuable player in its truest sense, the fact that Patrick took basically a bunch of high school kids to the Super Bowl at receiver is something to be said. I mean, don't get me wrong, you had a lot from that defense come through. You had a couple of a couple of calls go the right direction, but I mean, let's all be real here for a second. If Patrick was on that team, they were not going not just to the Super Bowl. They weren't even going to the playoffs. And so he still found a way to throw for over 4,000 yards, still didn't have his worst season throwing the football, like, again, until he decides to either become the San Antonio Chiefs or he decides to go ahead and realize, you know what, hey, I did this whole NFL thing wrong. I should have been playing in Houston. I don't think it's going to change anytime soon.
Oh, should have been playing in Houston, huh? Okay. Like how you always like sneak little jabs in.
Man, Bill O'Brien would have got that young man killed. We both know that. Oh
Cool, cool,
man, but
cool. I'll let you have it right now. I am wearing my. The training camp started, man. That's why I'm rocking my stuff, man. It's training
look,
camp week, man.
look, I'm gonna give everybody a little bit of a preview of the AFC South. I do not have the Titans finishing last in the
Okay.
AFC South, but that's the
NFC
only preview
West.
I'm gonna give.
NFC
NFC,
West.
NFC West. I'm gonna start from the top. I'm gonna start from the top this time. Of course, again, San Francisco. Until otherwise shown, San Francisco's at the top. They are at the top, and they're going to stay there, even with their money problems, even with their unhappy players. They always find a way to come out on top, especially the last three times, the last what 4 or 5 seasons. Yeah, I see the Rams uh, coming in, being strong number two in there. So, I mean, come on, let's be real. Arizona and Seattle and the Rams. The Rams are clearly the best team out of those three, hands down. They reloaded a little bit. You had the emergence of Williams coming in out of there at running back, taking a little bit of pressure off of Stafford. As long as Stafford can stay healthy, the Rams finish second, and they have a fighting chance for first. However, here's where things get a little bit crazy. I think Kyler Murray has a little bit of a resurgence if he can capture anything he had in the second game, the second half of the season when he actually came back and played. I see the Arizona Cardinals finishing third in that division. I say 8 games. They win 8 games. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. coming in. Yes, they lost Hollywood Brown, but it's still, again, you can't count out what Kyler Murray has been able to do. They got that coaching change in there. They have a full year with that coaching staff in there. Hopefully, Kyler and his coach can see eye to eye. Maybe somebody found Kyler a step stool so he can actually look that man in the eye. But we'll see. And then of course Seattle. Gino, I think, was just a vanilla ice, a one-hit wonder, and we'll just kind of see how it goes from there in Seattle. They still have that dominant, great defense, but they just need to get it together on offense and see what happens.
All right, mine is a little bit different from yours, just a little bit. I'm gonna start from the top. It's just easier for me to start from the top. I'm not gonna do your start in the basement, work your way up type stuff. So
Hey man,
agree
I had to
with you
get
with
that.
San Fran.
That's that Drake started from the bottom. Now I'm here.
No, we're not gonna do that. Can't even mention Drake. It's the second time you mentioned Drake today. So we're gonna start with San Fran. Yeah, San Fran. I don't see them losing the division. If anything's gonna stop them, it will be the money problems. But the money problems ain't right now. So San Fran, barring a major injury, it's their division to lose. At number two, I actually have Seattle. Seattle at number two. Gino has some really good weapons, man. A lot of people forget these weapons that he has. He has DK. He's got, I think, Lockett, who's now going to be a number three receiver. Lockett as a number three receiver that's crazy because JSN is going to come in and take over that number two spot. That's what they wanted to. Not to mention the 1-2 punch you have in the backfield with your scat back and your power back. Don't forget about those two. And they have a really good tight end. So Gino can't fail with that. And if Gino messes up, guess who's waiting for him in the wings? Mr. Can win you a Super Bowl, Sam Howell.
Oh my gosh.
So he's still there. Yep, he's still there. So yeah, I got Seattle finishing second. And I agree with your third place person, your third place. I think that the Cardinals are going to surprise some people this year. Kyler's going to have a full season. He's going to, I already told you last time, I think he can, I said in a previous show, if Kyler can just stay healthy, I think that he would, if not make the Pro Bowl, be a fringe Pro Bowler with the receivers that he's got. And Marvin Harrison is going to be, he's going to be solid, of course. Unless he has a problem adjusting to the NFL. A lot of people don't want to talk about that. I understand that he's pro ready and he did what he did in college, but remember, this dude didn't run the 40, so his straight line speed is in question. We know he can get high points. We know he's going to get jump balls. We got that, but we saw some breakaway speed in Ohio State. But there's a reason why he didn't want to run. But I digress. They also got Trey Benson to back up Connor, so who's going to make a really good 1-2 punch. I think Trey Benson ends up taking over the backfield, but Trey Benson also had some injury history in college as well, so he's going to need to stay healthy as well. And then what's putting me in the basement, why I have the Rams there, is I think that Aaron Donald not being there is going to affect that defense tremendously. You just lost probably, arguably, one of the top 3 best defenders of all time from that defense. And they weren't able to really replace that. The person that was supposed to replace that, we ended up going to your rival, which was was it Byron Murphy? They took
Yeah.
him in the first. Seattle did. So that was a lot of pressure you had coming up. Now, remember when Geno? I mean, it was a time that Geno was mic'd up, and you got to go back and look at it. Aaron Donald was on him, and yeah, it was funny as hell. Well,
Yeah,
guess
he
what?
said,
Geno can step into the pocket now when they play the Rams because Aaron's not there. So don't get me wrong, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, that's got to be one of the better duos in the league. But
and then
you got to play
Kyren
defense
Williams.
still too, though, man.
You got Kyren Williams who emerged as well too.
I don't think Kyren is going to be able to do what he did again, man. You know why I say that? Because there's a reason why they drafted Blake Corum.
I don't think I don't think they
took Blake Corum, man.
That's fine. Blake Corum isn't like an all-world running back as well either. They took him in what, second or the third?
They took him in the third.
Took him in the third, exactly. So it's not like they reached out to go get him.
He's got national championship pedigree. He's coming off a national championship, man. They took him for a reason, man.
We're really going to go with. You want to talk about national champions and how well that does? you really want to go that route?
I'm just giving you some pedigree, man. Just some pedigree. He's got that pedigree. He's from a Jim Harbaugh system.
And how many of his players right now are doing well? Shut up on Nico Collins. You don't count.
Jim Harbaugh? Hey, let's not remember the last time that he was in the NFL that 3 or 4 straight Super Bowls went through San Francisco.
I'm not arguing about that one at all. I agree. Oh, there might be an ad for a website that we need to talk about that we like for fantasy football. Cut that part out. But Jim Harbaugh, I mean, he also had Greg Roman going in there, especially with Colin Kaepernick. They were running real strong in there, but that whole division was down across the board to begin with. Arizona didn't know how to spell QB. The Rams, they didn't know what was going on in there. They were still in St. Louis. They were still trying not to get stabbed coming out of the damn stadium over there. And then Seattle had Russell Wilson was their biggest competition that they had going on over there with the Legion of Boom. And they were on the downslope because they were all aging and they were all being split up again because of guess what? You're right, money issues.
Hey, but see, now you're beating up the division. He was winning playoff games. They made it to 3 straight NFC championships. So the rest of the league was falling down for the 49ers as well? Because remember, they went to 2 and then they made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because they played against the Panthers and Seattle, and then they broke through to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. So,
yeah. Well,
through San Francisco, man.
I get it, but this NFL versus college. I mean, like, I get it. But you're talking about being good in college versus being good in the NFL. Jim Harbaugh was first good in the NFL, then he was good in college, then he went to the NFL, went back to college, and we'll see what he does in the NFL this time. But Jim Harbaugh showed me
we just gotta wait and see. I think that they're gonna be okay, man. I mean, like I said, he's shoring up that O-line. He's buying his quarterback more time. He knew what he wanted to do before he got there when he had that 5th pick.
I mean, I feel you on that one, but going back to Blake Corum, man, like he also has injury problems as well too. He was all out the whole season beforehand. There's a reason why he was drafted third, and I'm not knocking the kid's talent, but I think he's just a supplemental back, a good change of pace hand for Williams because he did not have that. That's why he got hurt, and when he got hurt, they had nothing in the backfield, no handcuff for him. There was nothing going on. That was
moral of the story on this one is, since you have Kyren Williams on your fantasy team, I think you should draft Blake Corum.
Shut up. Get off my draft.
I'm giving away this man's secrets.
I hate you so much.
Hey, you don't always have to have the handcuff, man. Because look at it like this: I have Tajay Spears on mine, and I'm not looking to get Pollard because I
No.
know I'm not giving up a lot for Tony Pollard. I'm just not.
Oh snap! Hang on. You might have to rearrange this in the backup when you're doing editing, but make sure you jump this up in there because you mentioned Tony Pollard, which reminded me of the Dallas Cowboys and how terrible they are. And then there's Michael Gallup who just retired.
Oh,
So,
Michael Gallup retired. That's crazy. I didn't know
hmm
that.
yep, he retired. He's finally
Man,
calling
they
it quits.
they coursed him to retire, man. They coursed him.
But he went to the Raiders. That's why he retired. He's like, nah, it ain't gonna work out. I'm
Yeah,
done.
they. I mean, I was like, nah, I'm not having fun right now. I'm not.
I just got done dealing with Dak Prescott for how many years, and then now I have to go through this. No, I'm good.
Yeah, nah, he was solid with Dak, man. But hey, I'm leaving this in, man. This is what the people get when they get the full video, man. They get all of the banner. When we put out the little video, the small videos, man, the little
Yeah.
TikToks and stuff. That's when I edit this type of stuff off. But when you watch the whole video, you get all this, man. If we got a banter, we got a research, you getting all this. This is the uncut
Oh yeah.
versions.
Oh yes. Oh yes. And that's the important part of it. That's what we got to keep. That's what we have to keep rolling in there. Excuse me. But yes. So far, that's going to be it for today's show. Next week, we are going to go after the the East. We're going to be talking about the East side. So that's going to be fun. We're going to talk about your favorite dude, your favorite QB out there, out in the East. Um,
America's team. No, you meant Josh Allen. I know. You
yeah,
meant Josh Allen.
yeah, yes. I was looking at
I
you.
was
It's
talking
like the
about the
Buffalo Bills.
Cowboys.
I'm about to say the Buffalo Bills ain't America's team, boy. I mean, they might have went to the Super Bowl 4 times, but they also lost all 4 of them times too.
Now you got a lot of big quarterbacks over here in the East, man. AFC and
Oh
NFC. It's
yes.
a
Oh yeah.
lot of big names.
So I'm excited to really get in there and go through that one. We'll pop in there and see if anything's crazy as far as headlines go. I haven't heard anything out of Caleb Williams other than the fact that like performance wise, I just heard about his antics with his contract where he tried to get the no franchise tag and they told him to no. And then he was like, "Well, I want to be paid as an LLC." And then that way I can pay myself as a forgivable loan. Hey man, look, no, that's probably the smartest thing I've ever heard of that young man's mouth. I think that was an amazing attempt to try and do that. Hats off to him. Like if
But
he
they
can
don't do business with business. They do business with players. Come on, man.
absolutely. I get that. I get that. And that's exactly probably what they told him. But hey, look, man, if he can dodge the NFL defenders like he's trying to dodge taxes, boy, he's gonna be all right, let me tell you.
Nah, that's not how it works, man. It's like we're not gonna pay a company to let you play for us. That's come on, man. That's stupid. Come on, he had to be a little
Hey,
smarter than that.
he was trying everything he could not to pay tax. He got to learn what it was like to get a real paycheck, and he was like, "Nah, bro, I'm done. I ain't trying to pay these taxes."
This dude, man, he's just trying to do too much. And the thing is this, man, he better perform, man, with all of these extra antics because people that are gonna hate on him, they got so much ammunition on him already. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I'm just over here just loading up my clip, man. It's looking nice. Loading that clip, boy. But again, I'm hoping that it's to set it down because I don't like to wish ill on somebody who's worked for their craft and their dream way harder than whatever I did in my life. But still, like I wish him the success, but the writing is on the wall. It's not going to be good. I hope he can avoid
We
this
have to
train
wait and
wreck
see,
that
man.
he's
I'm not
setting up.
I'm not believing in any performance stories that I hear from training camps right now, man. I don't want to hear
I'm not.
nothing until we see preseason. Once we
I'm
get
not
to
even.
preseason, then I'll be like, okay, man, he kind of looks like crap right now.
I'm not even going to put too much in preseason because remember, Jamar Chase looked like utter trash cans. Like he looked full on like a Division III receiver trying to play in Nick Saban's Alabama during preseason. Couldn't catch a ball, couldn't hit a route right, just all over the place. But as soon as week 1 hit, that young man was locked in, and we forget the fact that he had a crappy preseason. So you know my
Broke
my
records.
Yeah, for Caleb, it's going to come probably about week 4 because you get a 4 week cycle in the NFL because that's after 4 weeks they got good film on you and they'll produce. I mean, the NFL's faster now. They've already picked up on your tendencies in 4 games. Like that's wild to me. So that fifth game is going to be paramount. Is he able to grow and mature and evolve as a QB? Well, we'll see. I sounds like I'm speaking out two sides of my mouth. I hope the best for him, but I'm just calling the train wreck that I see coming up, man. Is he gonna dodge it or is he gonna run right into it? I don't know.
All right, I want to put two questions out for our fans and our people that chime in and stuff like that. And I will put that towards the end. I'll probably use this as one of our clips. But two questions for the fans, right? One, prove me why if Danny Dimes if he could just be half decent, just half decent. Tell me why he can't have a better rookie season than Marvin Harrison. That's what I want to know.
Wait,
I
Danny
believe
Dimes.
Malik Neighbors is going to have a better.
Okay,
If Danny Dimes can just be decent, then Malik Neighbors is going to have a better rookie year than Marvin Harrison.
bold, but okay.
Second, what's that?
I said bold, but okay.
Yeah. Secondly, I want the fans to know if you believe, because I believe he's not going to he's not going to like this. I believe that CJ Stroud has a bit of a sophomore slump. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to be terrible, but I don't think he reaches the numbers he did this season, even with the addition of another receiving target.
I've called that. I've called that. I've called the
He's not going to
sophomore
reach the
slump.
same numbers.
No. No. I think he hits
So
4,000 yards.
you're not taking that one, but that's my question though. So do y'all agree with me or you disagree with me? Let me know.
Yeah, I hope for 4,000 yards.
Don't agree with me. Don't agree with me. Come on, give me some outlandish. Man, he's going to throw for 5,000.
Oh
I know
hell
my
no.
quarterback with all these
Hell no.
weapons.
No, I'm just like just watching CJ and how it goes. You have a very dominant personality in Stephon Diggs. I do see a little bit of a sophomore slump. I mean, he's been out, he's been going through everywhere. He's coming back, he's locked in, he's saying all the right things, but everybody's hyper focused on CJ right now because they're talking about him being the odds for the MVP favorite in 2024. They're talking about him being named one of the top